next episode of On the Set Podcast with Murry and McGee.
Between Bobby and the FBI up his ass all the time, he's going fucking crazy.
Hey, yo, what?
All right, this should be fun because I'm terrible at this. All right, welcome to On the Set. McGee's gonna have to fix all this in post. I'm here with Bree Evans, a world-class bowler, highly accomplished. So we'll just have a good day.
Yeah.
See you representing Columbia 300 today.
Absolutely. Best brand in the 7 brands. Being on Columbia 300 is a great honor. So if you don't have a Columbia 300 ball, get one, try it out.
All right, so we're gonna throw a couple balls and we'll just talk about some stuff to deal with bowling, obviously. McGee's gonna laugh at all of this in post, so it's all good. He does all that stuff. So. All right, we're gonna do it.
Okay.
All right, so I turned my shot on because I need to work on my spares. I got 3, 6, 10 up there for now. Bree has a full rack. I missed. So Bree, what about the DMV is different when it comes to bowling?
When it comes to bowling, so one thing I would say, I think the difference between our bowlers and other areas is that it's a different grind. I always notice when people from other areas come to our bowling centers, I see that they tend to struggle a little bit. So I will say some of the bowling conditions that we bowl on from the various houses in the area are a little bit tougher than your average Jersey or Florida or North Carolina, those type of areas, even New York.
Okay.
So our bowling alleys, the bowling conditions are a little bit tougher. So I would say that makes the bowlers tougher as well. That's why when you see in all these different tournaments, we're at the top, where they wonder like, how do y'all bowl on this stuff down here? Because it's what we're used to. We're used to bowling on tougher conditions. So therefore, when we go somewhere else, it looks like the easiest pattern ever. So.
Okay, so I've heard them use the term China for other bowling alleys.
Yeah,
okay.
You can say that. Yeah, we don't bowl on China. I'll say here, it's China to me, but the average person that doesn't bowl in here would say, hey, Crofton is one of the tougher houses.
Okay.
I think universally, we can say Riverdale is tough for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not gonna lie about that.
you can strike in Riverdale, you can strike anywhere. So, I definitely say that.
All right, cool. That is extremely true. I know you represent Columbia, but I saw you have the one. Is that the one ovation?
Yeah.
That's the newest one, right?
Yeah, the Ebonite One Ovation.
How do you like it so far?
I like it. So I will say, out of box, I shot 698 with it at lead, which was pretty good. I will say the reverb, it was one of my favorite pieces.
Okay.
So, and honestly, all the ones are my favorite. The core just matches up well with my game, even since I was a child. So just having this one compared to the reverb, it's definitely smoother. It's a stronger piece, but it's still smoother. It's a little more rounded. So I'm not gonna see like the jerkiness or the sharp back end like in the reverb. This one is a little more mellow. So I would say if you're on a sport pattern or any type of house condition that the back ends are a little tighter, you'll use the reverb, and then once they break down a bit, you should be able to just go straight to this, off
Now,
the break.
is the reverb a solid or?
So the reverb is a pearl.
Okay.
This one is a hybrid.
Okay.
So, the common thing known for hybrids, it kind of blends out, wet, dry conditions. It tends to be a little bit smoother, so it reads well. So I like it so far.
Right, and I noticed you mentioned you said you bowled since you were young. Like, how long have you been bowling? If you don't mind me asking?
I'm 31, so I've been bowling since I was 8.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, been bowling for a while. I actually started youth league at the AMF in Bowie.
Okay.
Then when it closed down, the youth league that I bowled in moved here to Crofton. So that's why Crofton's kind of been like a home house to me. So yeah.
That's impressive. I used to bowl as a kid, then I stopped. Bowled a little bit in college for fun, like Perry Hall, when they had the quarter Wednesdays, we used to go there.
Okay.
Then just started again probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with Perry Hall. Me and some of my teammates, when I bowled at Morgan, we used to go up there to practice sometimes, like get an extra practice.
You're a
in.
Morganite?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that is beautiful. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, I am.
So I got my Morgan colors on. It's
Yeah, it is
homecoming
homecoming.
weekend.
Yep. Yeah, I am a Morganite, so I bowled for Morgan. Proud alum. Definitely, everything that I own, I have some type of Morgan piece. Hoodie, sweatshirt, keychain, proud alum. I definitely appreciated my experience there. It helped me become the bowler I am today.
But you said you're pretty young, so you probably know new Morgan more than like older Morgan. I think
Yeah.
not everything that's there now, obviously.
Yeah,
It's
everything
very
now is
built up.
totally different. Yeah. Just going to homecoming last year, I kind of like slid past just to see what campus looks like. It looks totally different. So, I mean, there's a Miss Toya's there. There's a totally different atmosphere where the new business building is. So when I was graduating, I got 1 year in the new business building. So I will say the new business building was a great touch on my senior year. And then now it's totally different. Like even the dorm that I was in is not there anymore. It's a brand new dorm with a dining hall inside of it. So it's a huge.
Which dorm is this now?
Thurgood.
Okay.
Yeah. So Thurgood was for the athletes, and then now it's just a brand new dorm. It's nice. I like how they're constantly improving the campus for sure. Yeah.
Definitely evolving.
Yeah.
Let me throw one shot and then I can tell you how old I am. Let's just say I graduated in 05, so. Oh, terrible. See, I don't know. Is Morgan View still there? It's been a while.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Morgan
I
View
was
is-
there when it first opened.
Okay, yeah. Morgan View is still there. It's a little rough, but it is still there.
My sister, who's about 5 years younger than me, said it was. She called it the hood.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So I know it's probably bad now.
Yeah, it's definitely bad now. That's where all the activity is actually. So I just hopefully they improve it.
So how was it bowling at Morgan?
It's a great experience actually. I didn't start at Morgan. I started at Bowie State.
Okay.
I started there my freshman year out of out of high school, and then I transferred my sophomore year into Morgan. So Morgan, I like going from a D2 to a D1. Of course, we all know HBCUs don't get as many facility and funding and stuff like that, but I will say it was definitely an improvement experience-wise. They definitely cared about the bowling team. My teammates and I, we're very close-knit team, and we definitely gave our best foot forward. I would definitely say every single year to try to make it to the championships. I think my junior year, we were very close to that last match, and we just missed it. So, but we were always in the running. I like the different tournaments that we were able to go to. It allowed us to compete with some of the best. And some of those women that I competed against, I'm still, cool with to this day. I see them around at different tournaments. So I would definitely say the competitive edge was there with a tougher conference by being in Morgan compared to being in Bowie.
So this was MEAC, right?
Yeah,
So
MEAC.
like A&T.
Yeah, and A&T at the
guessing Del
time.
State?
Yeah, and A&T at the time when I was there, they were good, but they weren't to where they are now. They were still good, and it was still a battle with them. But now they're, with Kim Terrell being there, they're top notch. So being ranked and everything like that. So
They only have a women's team at Morgan, right? Or is there a men's team too?
yeah, it's just a women's team.
Okay.
Yeah, so mostly the men's teams you find them at schools like in the Midwest, like Ohio, Kansas, those type of states. And they're club bowling, so it's different.
Okay.
They don't really have conferences. They kind of schedule their own tournaments. And plus it's a little different also being in they're considered in that NAIA, so they're able to bowl tournaments elsewise and still get paid. Whereas anybody who's like coming from the MEAC or any type of bowling conference, they're still under the same spectrum as like a NCAA football player.
Okay.
Like, you can't really get paid. It has to go towards a smart account and things like that. So
That's interesting.
yeah, going to a club school is almost like being an independent bowler. It just still gives you that team environment.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. All right, let's try it again. And miss again. I gotta realize there's actually oil out here compared to
Yeah.
Normandy, so.
Yeah, and this end is definitely more oil than that side.
So I know over the summer your team was recognized for a major accomplishment. I
Yes,
believe.
yeah. We were recognized in the category for highest single game for 2 women and 1 male. So yeah, it was like 824, which I didn't know was an actual like record. I didn't know that was a category, like 2 women, 1 male. So yeah, it was a nice feat to have, just to be on the USBC record book. 'Cause, you know, any other time it's like you want to kind of get an eagle, but I can say that's kind of my eagle for right now. Is being in the record books. I've been doing it with my best friend and his sister, so I consider them family. So it was a good time.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I'm glad we had to see you guys in the summertime.
We did, yeah. We had a good run. We just missed first, but we definitely had a good run every single week, trying to get as many points as possible. But you know, the interesting part about that is us not having as many handicap pins, and you know, Lauren being the handicap. Cam and I kind of had to do the heavy lifting, especially because she's just coming back to bowling. So.
All right, I gotta ask you some questions about handicap versus scratch at some point too.
Okay.
I know that's a
touchy subject.
Yeah. Let's see if I can actually touch some pins the next time I bowl. You don't coach, do you, bro?
Every once in a while. Yeah, every once in a while. My schedule is a little messed up. Right now I coach somebody on Wednesday nights. It's about to be winter, so my weekends are a little more free. Yeah, I don't mind coaching.
I'll keep that in mind. Finally. All right, so since scratch versus handicap comes up so much, what do you, I guess, define as a scratch bowler versus a handicap bowler? Or is there like a minimum average to be a scratch bowler, or is it just how you play more so?
I think to me, when it comes to the scratch handicap event, it really depends on initially your identity as a bowler. So you have to realize what type of bowler do you want to be? Because nowadays, you know, you have handicap bowlers, but then people are specifically fine with being handicapped, whereas they don't want their average to go up a certain realm. And then you have scratch bowlers who they define themselves as scratch. They know they're scratch bowlers. They don't care about pins. They realize they can overtake the handicap bowlers at any time. So I think personally, it really depends on who you want to be as a bowler. You want to be that scratch bowler, and you can always define what a scratch bowler is. To me, a scratch bowler is somebody that can bowl on any type of condition. They don't care what the rules are, what the handicap is. You know, if it's a scratch tournament, they're going to bowl it. They're always going to put their foot in their name in the hat. Whereas a handicap bowler, they might feel like, oh, I can compete with the scratch bowlers, but they're not going to go bowl a scratch tournament. So it just depends on what type of identity you feel like you want to have as a bowler. I feel like handicap bowlers, they should be known as the people that are still trying to get their footing and learning bowling. But then, like I said, because there's so many handicap tournaments, and you see, you know, the average person that can get 50 pins and they just can have a day, it's kind of hard for somebody as a scratch bowler. They got to shoot 800 to compete with somebody that's getting those pins. So it's a touchy subject because scratch is depleting the game, and handicap is increasing because people are learning how to maintain an average, and you know, they're saying that handicap has more money in it and things like that. Because if you look at it, there's not as many scratch bowlers compared to handicap.
Yeah, definitely. So you said something that I always kind of tell people. I'm like, I don't think scratch bowlers really worry about handicap bowlers too much, because they know that they can outbowl them at some point. Because they don't make the same like mistakes or the mental mistakes or like missing a 10 pin or easy spares. Like, they're not worried about that because they know they can do that. Now, I will say, as someone who is considered handicapped, I have done some scratch tournaments before. Although I prefer, like, for me, it's competition. So if it was like a bracket and it's like, I got to go against this person, no matter what the average is, I'm going to put my best foot forward and try to bowl against them. But I feel like, obviously, like, I have like a 180 average compared to someone in 220. Like, there's almost no point in me bowling against them because chances are, even if I get hot, like, they're still going to have their 220.
Yeah,
even for me being hot, it's like a 230.
Bowler, I can still kind of have that bad day and get beat by a handicap bowler.
I mean, that's true. I know it happens periodically.
Because I think the biggest thing also when it comes to scratch bowlers is also like, if I'm at 230, in order for me to make an impact against a handicap bowler, I gotta hit my average, obviously. But once I'm getting in the 190s, the handicap bowler, if I'm bowling you head on, you're thinking, oh, well, this person might not be on it today. I can get to 190 plus my pins. I'm beating them. So that's a huge thing when it comes to handicap and scratch. I'm a scratch bowler. I got to be able to hit that target amount every single time.
Okay.
Otherwise, you know, the 5 pins, the 6 pins, 0 pins that I have aren't going to make a difference to somebody who has 30.
got to get that re-drilled. So would you encourage more people to get in the scratch tournaments?
Yeah, I think everybody should try to do scratch tournaments. I think scratch tournaments allow you to compete with the best. The scratch bowlers are some of the best. And like I said, it goes back to the identity of what type of bowler you want to be. If you have handicap right now, you're trying to be at that mark where you can compete with the best. Whether it's to be a scratch bowler or whether it's to, as we talk nowadays, be a great sandbagger. As a sandbagger, technically, you're a great sandbagger if you can still compete scratch. But if you can't compete scratch, then you're just a handicap bowler. So I would definitely say handicap tournaments give you that grit, because a lot of them have some of those tougher formats where it's like, okay, bowl 6 games, then do match play, or there's a bracket style format where it's, best out of 3, best out of 7, that type of thing. Whereas the handicap tournaments, sometimes they're just, sometimes the simpler formats, because it's just, okay, 3 games, cut, whatever the case is. So, scratch tournaments, I like throwing them myself, because it's easier, of course, as a tournament director, but bowling them as well is fun as well, because I'm able to see where I stand and where I can, compete with the best. And it lets me know if I need to work on something. Because if I can't beat the Quentin Collins or the Marcus Bells or the Gigi Greaves of the world, then I'm not where I need to be basically. So
that's a good point. All right, I got to ask you a question as a tournament director. I think I'm gonna snitch on myself, but
okay.
but I guess we'll get some more footage.
Oh, you are? Okay. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Send me the flyer or whatever you have.
All right, so as a tournament director, when do you re-rate people, or how often do they get re-rated?
Unfortunately, I feel like nowadays people, I call it the world of snitching. So re-rating somebody is not a thing that I really like to do. I don't do it often. I try my best to give everybody the ability to compete at a fair level, while also keeping in mind that other people's money is also involved. So I have re-rated somebody in a tournament, but I haven't done that since then. I try to make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's a little bit better since then to do that. I just recently had to tell somebody that, hey, in the last 2 years you've averaged this, but this is your average, so you kind of got to find a median. And the reason why is because, like I said, you have the snitching of the world, where as soon as somebody wins a tournament, it's an issue. If they don't win, they have no problem with it. Even if they don't, win the tournament, if they're clobbering the side action, they're still going to be like, well, what average is it? So it's always trying to dot my I's and cross my T's with that type of stuff, just to make sure that everybody's on this level playing field. And then also just to not single somebody out as well.
All right, so how many games do you have to bowl before your average is established? So let's say just for this year, since obviously leagues just started.
Yeah, I think the average for a tournament is 21 games. So let's say, like, I have a couple people that maybe my flyer says, this year or last year's average. I'm not personally going to turn somebody away that wants to compete, even though they don't have an average. They might have a summer average. They just don't have a winter average. So what I'm going to take is 21 games of this year, and by now you should have 21 games established. But I don't really do a tournament average per se. I've done it before, but it's a lot of work. I commend the people that do it, because you're keeping a lot of databases and you're constantly checking. I'm able to check people's scores, of course, but just to keep an average is kind of a lot of work. So 21 games is normally the basis that I do it off of.
All right, so I'm going to see some different numbers now. It's all good, though.
Oh, boy.
Let's try to get this rock started.
calling me twice.
All right, Bree, can I ask you about UBA?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, good pickup.
Hey, give me 1 second. I gotta call my boss real quick.
All right, there's some B-roll for you, McGee. Maybe I can get a strike on one of them.
Oh, I should do that.
That look good. Go get it. Gotta get used to. Oh. It's actually a good angle. GB5. Back. Take it.
Okay. You ready? Okay. I gotta head out. I gotta do something for my boss.
Yeah, no problem. I'm almost done anyway. So.
Okay, no problem. Okay. You said you want to ask about UBA?
Oh, just in general, like, how is UBA different from just like, I guess, typical league bowling? Is it just more trash talk?
Yeah, it's more trash talking. I think, it's more so being able, I think it teaches you how to bowl with a team and bowl with different individuals. Because sometimes, I know for my team is a family, but some teams are just based off of people just bowling, They might not really know the person, but you kind of got to learn the person in order to build chemistry on the lanes. So it's definitely a lot of trash talking. It's a great organization. It allows people to be together. It gives people an extra thing to bowl because they have different tournaments. You can bowl with your team. I love that aspect of it, that they emphasize that. But then you can also, they have events like Unholy where you can bowl with other individuals.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think we're going to try to get into it.
Oh, okay.
Keep saying it, just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's a good, it's a fun organization. I like it.
So realistically, how many people should you have to start?
To start a team, I would say realistically to start a team, I would say maybe like 15 to 20, honestly. Mainly because you'll have tour stops where some people aren't able to get in. They're not able to compete. They might have family stuff going on and things like that. So you want to have at least 15 to 20 because let's say some of your top 9 can't compete. You want to be able to fill in those gaps with some other credible bowlers that can allow you to still win and compete.
Thank you.
You're not getting much bowling done.